Commander Sarah stood on the edge of the small human camp, watching the stars twinkle in the night sky. The night was quiet, but a sense of worry hung in the air. The Ceresians, a once peaceful alien species, now depended on the humans for safety. They had come a long way since the humans arrived, but danger lurked nearby, threatening to tear apart their fragile alliance. The morning sun rose, casting a golden light over the camp. Commander Sarah gathered her team, including skilled fighters and engineers. "We need to stay alert," she said, her voice steady. "The Kralins will not stop until they take everything from the Ceresians. They see them as weak, but we know better." The Kralins were a fierce alien group known for their ruthless attacks. They had already captured several Ceresian villages, and Sarah feared they would come for the main settlement next. The Ceresians were not warriors by nature. They were peaceful beings who had only known a simple life. Now they were being forced to fight for their survival. As the humans trained the Ceresians, they noticed something remarkable. The Ceresians had a natural talent for stealth and speed. They moved gracefully, almost like shadows in the forest. Sarah thought about how to use these skills in the coming battle. They had to find a way to turn the Ceresians' agility into a weapon against the Kralins. Days passed, and the Kralin attacks grew bolder. One evening, a scout returned with alarming news. "Commander! The Kralins are gathering a large force near the river. They plan to attack within 3 days." The scout's eyes were wide with fear. Sarah's heart raced. They had little time to prepare. She called an emergency meeting with her team and the Ceresian leaders. The room was filled with tension as everyone listened carefully. "The Kralins believe the Ceresians are weak," Sarah began, looking at her allies. "But we know you have strengths they cannot see. We can use that to our advantage." She explained her plan to surprise the Kralins, using the Ceresians' natural abilities to launch a sneak attack. The Ceresian leader, a tall figure with shimmering blue skin, stepped forward. "We are willing to fight, but we need your guidance. We have never known battle like this." Their voice was soft but determined. "Together we can do this," Sarah replied, feeling a sense of hope. The room filled with murmurs of agreement. They would fight for their home. As night fell, they practiced in the dim light. The humans taught the Ceresians how to work as a team. The Ceresians learned to move quietly through the trees, using the shadows to hide. They trained until exhaustion, but their spirits lifted with every small success. Sarah watched them grow stronger, and she felt proud. But even as they trained, the danger loomed closer. One night, Sarah heard loud noises in the distance. The Kralins were testing their defenses, sending patrols to see how strong they had become. The humans and Ceresians quickly moved into position, their hearts pounding. Suddenly, they saw Kralin ships in the sky. The sleek, dark vessels flew low, scanning the area. Commander Sarah knew they had to act fast. "We need to make them think we're weak," she whispered to her team. "If they think we're unprepared, we can strike when they least expect it." The Kralins landed near the river, their red eyes glowing in the dark. They were confident, laughing, and boasting about their upcoming victory. Little did they know that the humans and Ceresians were ready to fight back. As the night grew darker, Sarah felt a mix of fear and excitement. The Ceresians were counting on her, and she would not let them down. With every heartbeat, she knew the time to act was drawing near. The humans and Ceresians were no longer just allies. They were a united front, ready to face the rising danger together. The morning sun broke through the trees, bathing the camp in warm light. Commander Sarah stood at the center of the makeshift gathering area, surrounded by both humans and Ceresians. A sense of purpose filled the air as they prepared to join forces against the Kralins. Today was a new beginning for their alliance. Sarah looked at the Ceresians. Their soft blue skin glimmered in the sunlight, and their big, bright eyes showed determination. They had come so far from the frightened beings who once hid from danger. Now they were ready to stand tall and fight for their home. "Thank you all for being here," Sarah began, her voice steady and strong. "We face a great challenge ahead. The Kralins think they can take everything from us, but we will show them they are wrong." The crowd listened intently, their eyes focused on her. The Ceresian leader, a wise elder named Kira, stepped forward. "We have learned much from you, Commander. Your courage inspires us. Together, we will defend our land." Kira's voice echoed through the crowd, igniting a spark of hope in everyone present. Sarah nodded, feeling a wave of pride. "Together we are stronger. We have the skills to outsmart the Kralins. They underestimate you, but you have agility and speed that can turn the tide of this battle." She gestured to the nearby training area. Let's practice what we've learned and create a plan. The group moved to the training grounds where humans and Ceresians began to work side by side. Humans demonstrated how to set up traps and ambushes, while Ceresians showed them how to move silently through the dense underbrush. They practiced running, leaping, and hiding, learning to blend their strengths. Sarah paired with Kira for a strategy session. What if we set up traps near the river where the Kralins are most likely to attack? Kira suggested, her eyes shining with excitement. We could lure them in and then strike from the trees. That's a great idea, Sarah replied. If we can catch them by surprise, we can weaken their forces before the main battle. The two leaders exchanged ideas, each one building on the other's thoughts. Their friendship grew stronger with every shared plan. As they practiced, Sarah noticed how the Ceresians transformed. They moved with more confidence and purpose, no longer just afraid creatures, but brave fighters ready to defend their home. The humans cheered them on, offering praise and encouragement. Each small victory brought them closer together. Days turned into a week, and the camp buzzed with energy. Sarah felt a new bond forming between the two groups. They shared meals, laughter, and stories around the fire at night. The humans learned about Ceresian culture, their music, and their traditions. In return, the Ceresians were fascinated by human tales of bravery and adventure. One evening, as they sat around the fire, Kira shared a Ceresian legend about a great warrior who protected their people long ago. This warrior fought against terrible odds and never gave up, she said, her voice full of passion. We believe that the spirit of that warrior lives in each of us. Inspired, Sarah spoke up. That spirit is alive in all of us now. We are warriors fighting for what we believe in, for our families and our homes. We will not let the Kralins take what is rightfully ours. The crowd erupted in cheers, their voices ringing through the night. The bond between humans and Ceresians felt unbreakable. They were no longer just allies. They had become a family united by a common cause. As they prepared for the battle ahead, Sarah felt a sense of calm wash over her. They had trained hard, learned from one another, and formed a powerful alliance. Together, they would face whatever challenges came their way. The Kralins would soon learn that they were not fighting a helpless species. They were up against a united front. The day of the battle approached, and both groups stood ready to protect their home. They had joined forces, becoming a powerful team, and together, they would fight for their future. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the camp. Excitement mixed with anxiety as Commander Sarah called everyone together. It was time to finalize their bold plan to take on the Kralins. The air was thick with anticipation as both humans and Ceresians gathered, eager to hear what Sarah had in mind. Today is our day to change the tide, Sarah began, her voice strong and clear. We have trained hard, and now we must use our skills to outsmart the Kralins. They think we are weak, but they have no idea what we are capable of. Her words stirred the crowd, and they listened intently. Sarah laid out a map of the area on a large table made of wood. The map showed the river, the forest, and the main Kralin camp. We will set up our main base here. She pointed to a hidden spot behind the trees and used the river as our ally. Kira, the Ceresian leader, leaned closer, studying the map. We can use the river to hide our movements, she suggested. The Kralins will not expect us to come from that direction. They will think we are too afraid to attack. Exactly, Sarah replied, feeling a rush of excitement. We will use the Ceresian speed and stealth to our advantage. At dawn, we will send a small group to create a distraction at the riverbank. While the Kralins are focused on them, the rest of us will flank them from the forest. The crowd buzzed with energy, ideas sparking among them. We can set up traps along the path, one of the human soldiers suggested. If the Kralins charge in, they will be caught off guard. And we can hide behind the trees and ambush them, a young Ceresian added, eyes shining with determination. They will never see us coming. Sarah nodded, impressed by their enthusiasm. Great ideas. We will need to work together closely. The humans will handle the traps, and the Ceresians will scout the area to ensure it's safe. We must stay silent and quick. As they finalized the details, Sarah noticed the confidence growing in the Ceresians. They were no longer just following orders, they were eager participants in the plan. This was their fight too, and they were ready to protect their home. The group divided into teams, each one assigned a specific task. Some would prepare the traps, while others gathered supplies for the battle. The Ceresians practiced moving silently through the forest, their quick and graceful movements impressing everyone. As the day turned to night, they gathered for one last meeting. Sarah stood before them, her heart swelling with pride. "I want everyone to remember why we are fighting," she said, her voice steady. "This is about more than just winning a battle. It's about protecting our families, our homes, and our way of life. Together, we will show the Kralins the strength of our alliance." The crowd cheered, their voices ringing out into the night. Sarah felt a surge of hope. They were no longer afraid, they were warriors ready to face the enemy together. As they prepared to rest, Sarah walked through the camp, observing the preparations. The humans set up traps with careful precision, while the Ceresians worked on their stealth tactics. She felt the bond between the two groups strengthen with each passing moment. In the quiet of the night, Sarah reflected on their journey. Just weeks ago, the Ceresians had been frightened and unsure, but now they were brave and united. She knew they could win this battle if they remained focused and worked together. Dawn broke with a brilliant splash of colors, and the air was filled with a sense of urgency. The plan was in motion. As the sun peeked over the horizon, Sarah gathered everyone for one final pep talk. "Today we fight as one! Let us show the Kralins that they have underestimated us." With determination shining in their eyes, the humans and Ceresians prepared to march into battle, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would make their stand and show the galaxy that they were not a helpless species. They were a force to be reckoned with. The first light of dawn broke over the horizon, casting a golden glow across the forest. Sarah stood at the front lines, her heart racing. Today was the day they would face the Kralins. She took a deep breath, feeling the cool morning air fill her lungs. All around her, humans and Ceresians gathered, ready to fight for their future. "Remember the plan," Sarah shouted, her voice strong and commanding. "Stay focused and work together. We can do this." The crowd nodded, their expressions a mix of determination and excitement. The air buzzed with energy, and the tension was palpable. As they moved into position, Sarah felt a mix of fear and hope. She glanced at Kira, who stood beside her, eyes fierce with determination. "Are you ready?" Kira asked, her voice steady. "Ready as ever," Sarah replied, gripping her weapon tightly. The Ceresians had proven to be fierce allies, and together they would show the Kralins they were not to be underestimated. The Kralin camp lay ahead, bustling with activity. As Sarah and her team crept closer, she could see the enemy soldiers moving about, unaware of the storm that was about to hit them. Sarah signaled to the Ceresian scouts, who disappeared silently into the shadows, ready to gather information and report back. Suddenly, a loud horn blew from the Kralin camp. It echoed through the forest, sending shivers down Sarah's spine. "They know we're here!" she yelled, heart-pounding. "Get ready!" Just then, the Ceresian scouts returned, their faces serious. "They are preparing for an attack," one of them whispered urgently. "We must act fast!" With a nod, Sarah quickly gathered her troops. "Ceresians, you know the plan! Distract them by the river!" she shouted. The Ceresians moved with incredible speed, darting through the trees like shadows. Their agility was unmatched, and they quickly began setting the traps along the riverbank. As the Kralins marched toward the river, Sarah felt a surge of adrenaline. "Now!" she yelled, and the Ceresians sprang into action, creating chaos along the riverbank. The Kralins were caught off guard, and confusion spread through their ranks. Sarah and the humans charged from the forest, launching their surprise attack. "For our homes!" they shouted as they joined the fray. The clash of weapons rang through the air, a sound both terrifying and exhilarating. The Ceresians moved gracefully among the Kralins, striking with precision. Their small size made them difficult to catch, and they used the traps to their advantage. Kralins stumbled and fell, trapped in the snares set by their enemies. Sarah fought fiercely, her weapon striking true. She felt the power of her alliance behind her, each blow driven by the desire to protect their future. Kira fought alongside her, demonstrating remarkable skill. Together, they pushed deeper into the Kralin lines, their bond strengthening with each victory. But the Kralins were not easily defeated. They regrouped, sending more soldiers to the front lines. Sarah could see their fierce leader, a tall and menacing figure rallying his troops. "We must not give in," he shouted, his voice booming across the battlefield. "We have to take him down," Sarah yelled to Kira. "If we defeat their leader, we can weaken their resolve." Kira nodded and they pushed forward, determined to reach the Kralin leader. The battle raged on, chaos surrounding them. Humans and Ceresians fought side by side, their movements synchronized. They were no longer separate groups. They had become one united force. Finally, they reached the Kraylan leader, who was fighting with incredible strength. Sarah and Kira faced him, weapons drawn. "This ends now!" Sarah declared, her heart racing as they charged at him together. In a fierce clash, they fought with all their might. The Kraylan leader swung his weapon, but Sarah and Kira were quick, dodging and countering. Together, they outmatched him, using their skills and teamwork to gain the upper hand. With one final strike, Sarah disarmed the Kraylan leader. He fell to the ground, defeated. The Krallans, witnessing their leader's downfall, began to panic. The tide of the battle shifted, and Sarah shouted, "Now! Let's finish this!" The alliance surged forward, pushing the Kraylans back. The once mighty enemy was now in disarray. With each fallen Kraylan, the hope for their victory grew stronger. The humans and Ceresians had proven their strength, united as one. As the dust settled, Sarah looked around at her allies. They had done the impossible. They had fought against the Kraylans and emerged victorious. Cheers erupted, echoing through the forest, celebrating their hard-fought freedom. Together they had shown that love, courage, and friendship could overcome any obstacle. The battle was just the beginning, and together they would build a brighter future. The sounds of celebration filled the air as the sun began to set, casting a warm, golden light over the battlefield. Sarah stood amidst the ruins of what had been a fierce fight, her heart swelling with pride. They had done it. They had defeated the Krallans. Around her, humans and Ceresians cheered, their voices rising in joyful harmony. "Look at what we accomplished!" Kira exclaimed, her bright eyes sparkling with excitement. She clasped Sarah's hand tightly, sharing the thrill of their victory. "We fought together and won! This is only the beginning!" Sarah smiled, feeling a wave of happiness wash over her. "We have shown them that we are strong when we stand together. We've proven that hope and unity can overcome any threat." As night fell, the camp came alive with laughter and stories. Everyone shared their experiences from the battle, recounting moments of bravery and clever tactics that had led to their victory. Sarah walked among her friends, soaking in the atmosphere. It felt like a family gathering rather than a war camp. Suddenly, a group of Ceresian children approached her. They looked up at Sarah with wide, innocent eyes. "Are you a hero?" one of them asked, his voice filled with admiration. Sarah knelt down to their level, feeling touched by their question. "I'm just a person who wanted to help," she replied gently. "But together we are all heroes today. You too can be heroes when you stand up for what is right." The children beamed at her words, and she felt a sense of warmth in her heart. They were the future, and it was her hope that they would grow up knowing the strength of unity and friendship. As the night deepened, Sarah and Kira joined the others around a large fire. Flames flickered and danced, casting a cozy glow over the gathering. "What will we do next?" Kira asked, leaning in closer to Sarah. "We've defeated the Kraylans, but there are still many challenges ahead." Sarah nodded, knowing that the fight was not over. "We need to rebuild and prepare for whatever comes next. The Kraylans may retreat for now, but they will not forget us. We must be ready to defend ourselves and our home." A hush fell over the group as Sarah's words sank in. They all understood the importance of staying vigilant. They had tasted victory, but they also knew that peace could be fragile. "Let's focus on building a strong alliance," Sarah continued. "We can train together, share our knowledge, and strengthen our bonds. With time, we will be ready for anything." Kira smiled brightly. "I can help with that. The Ceresians have many skills we can share, like our knowledge of the forest and how to move quietly. We can teach you, and you can teach us how to fight with weapons. Together, we will be unstoppable." The others nodded, excitement bubbling up as they began to discuss their plans. Laughter and enthusiasm filled the night as they shared ideas and dreams for the future. The bond between humans and Ceresians grew stronger with each passing moment, and Sarah felt a sense of purpose in her heart. As the fire crackled, Sarah glanced around at her friends, both human and Ceresian. They were no longer just allies, they were family. In that moment, she realized the true power of their unity. As the stars twinkled overhead, Sarah spoke softly. "Let's make a promise to each other. No matter what happens, we will always stand together. We will protect each other and fight for our future." "Agreed," everyone chimed in, their voices ringing out under the starlit sky. The commitment they made that night filled Sarah with hope. They were more than a group of warriors. They were a community ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With renewed determination, they began to make plans for their future. They spoke of building homes, creating gardens, and fostering friendships between their two species. Sarah knew that hope would guide them through the darkness and help them find their way. As the night wore on, Sarah sat by the fire, feeling a sense of peace settle over her. The battle had been hard, but they had emerged victorious, stronger and united. She looked up at the stars, their light shining brightly in the vastness of the sky. Just like those stars, hope would shine bright in their hearts, lighting the way to a better tomorrow.